Of course, then, people have this perception that everybody seems to hate England. Is that really the case, to be fair?
Uh, I think, listen, from the players' point of view, not really. I think that the players, we play week in, week out. You have to just, the team that you play, that's something that as players we have to get up for every match. But certainly as players, you feed off the passion of the crowd. And when it's Ireland, England, it's always the game that, whenever you're walking around the town, if you're going for a cup of coffee, people always get G'd up for the Ireland England match. And I suppose as players, you do feed off that. And when you go out into the stadium, it is Ireland against England. You always feel a real buzz in the atmosphere. So as players, it's another game, but whenever you do have that crowd behind you with that buzz, it does bring out something special about it.
Is it fair to say, because after the World Cup, people looked the way the World Cup panned out last summer, is it fair to criticise the Six Nations? Some people have classed it almost as a B competition in comparison to the Southern Hemisphere. Would you agree with that or disagree with that?
I don't think I would agree with it. No, I think the Six Nations is the best tournament in world rugby. Personally, I think to watch the matches in the Six Nations from a spectacle, from a playing point of view, I think it's a fantastic competition, and personally, I think it's the best in the world. From a playing point of view, it of course was very disappointing to have four Southern Hemispheres into the semi-finals of the World Cup. And first of all, for Ireland to miss out on that, I was absolutely devastated. I think the way we played against France the weekend before, that maybe we played our the big game against France, and when it came to Argentina, I think that they held their big game for us, and unfortunately that first couple of minutes, we obviously conceded a couple of easy tries. We saw how close Scotland got to beating Australia, I suppose down to the referee in the last minute of the game. And Wales obviously pushed South Africa hard too. So I think that there's not a massive gulf there. The way to look at it on paper, of course, it might look bad, but I think that the teams are very close, and more than ever, you see Northern Hemisphere teams now beating the Southern Hemisphere teams in these matches and test matches leading up to the World Cup. So I wouldn't be too worried about the state of Northern Hemisphere rugby.